Oh boy, we got some talking to do. What happened, GM? Definitely just does not feel fast for some reason. It's good for it to being stock. Package for the Z here. We got Dyno Performance in the house. If you know, you know. This is bringing a little bit of Miley back to the Corvette. This will come in a later video. I have a lot of mods that I still have to do. Along with the AC Cobra. Still trying to get that wrap. I don't know if you guys saw my reel here. It's been blowing up about 2 million views. We need to wrap this AC Cobra in a nice polished aluminum so we could throw this back to the 60s. I also got new exhaust here. I'm kind of behind on the AC Cobra, but I promise you I'm gonna make some more content on it because I know you guys love to see this car and I love driving it. Take it out every single weekend. But content for the AC Cobra, we have exhaust and we have the aluminum wrap coming very, very shortly. And then after that, we're gonna get into the 7.3 liter Godzilla swap. You're gonna want to stay tuned here for that. But I got a lot of parts like this Dyno Performance box, which we'll do another review on. I have AWE exhaust for the Vette, so more exhaust coming here. I'm waiting for one more part here. It's coming in about a week or two. If you guys have not yet seen already, I'm doing a coyote swap on a 1968 Mustang. If you haven't checked out those videos, definitely go ahead and check it out because we've done pretty much a lot. I just need fuel and a couple other things to do the first startup. I want to crank it up this month and I think that we could go ahead and accomplish that. But I do have everything here. This is not the cold air intake I'm running, but it is one that is going to be used for the startup just for now because everything here needs to be custom fabricated. I'm gonna go ahead and do that later on, but check out my videos. I do have new fuel rails. We're gonna be running E85. I have the ID 1050 injectors along with the full aeromotive fuel system, which I want to go ahead and show you guys here. I know you guys are wanting to see the dyno numbers. We're gonna get there, but I just want to give you an update on the full garage, what we've been doing, and just in case you've been missing out, give you a little update. Here is the fuel system. Got the fuel tank in with the aeromotive kit. I'm gonna make a little reel on that, so if you guys want to check that out as well. Will got his R8 back. He did a full new wrap to match his Mustang, and one thing that I really like are these wheels. Those wheels are so nice. In my last video, I also converted this automatic to manual. We got the 5-speed stick shift in, so make sure you check out that. I also did the fuel and the drive shaft, which you guys can check right underneath there. We did a lot. I want you guys to stay tuned with this build. Check out the video I just posted. This is gonna be the build of the century, at least for me, because this is probably the biggest build that I've ever done, but stay tuned for that. It's coming very shortly. But that is where we at with the Cobra as well as the Mustang. So close. I have so many projects. I barely have any time to breathe, along with the Corvette, which we are gonna get here today. I want to get you guys going here, get you guys excited. We're going to be getting baseline numbers on the Z06. GM advertises 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque. Comment down below, how much do you think it's actually going to be making through the wheels? I'm not entirely sure, but before we get into that, let's go through the dyno sheets to see exactly where we've come, what we're gonna do today, or tomorrow, because we gotta go down to San Diego for it. And let's check out to see all of the horsepower numbers that we've done to this far, all of the projects, and just see where we've come so far up to the Z06. So come with me in the car, let's check it out. Guys, check out all of these dyno slips that I have here. I've been dynoing my car for like the past 4 or 5 years or so. I have dyno sheets for my 68 Mustang, my 69 Mustang, my 2008 Mustang, my 2014 GT500, and now we're gonna be dynoing my 2015 Z06. I wanna get baseline numbers. I wanna basically record the full process of getting this a high horsepower car. I don't know which horsepower we're gonna be headed towards, but I definitely want around at least the 1,000 crank horsepower, which is always lots of fun here. But let's go ahead. I want to show you guys more into details these particular numbers and where we've gotten. MCE Racing, we're gonna be heading there again to dyno the Z06. I also need to dyno the Cobra. I'm very interested to see how much horsepower that car makes, because that car weighs like 2,000 pounds. But for now, we're gonna be seeing how much horsepower this car has, get those numbers, and then we're gonna continue to build up, we're gonna modify, and then we're gonna continue to take back to the dyno and go from there. So let me show you these more in depth. So this was my 1968 Mustang. We made 165 rear horsepower with 222 foot-pounds of torque. This was a torque monster. SAE smoothing, of course, are all the is what all of these are going to be calibrated for. But this was the lowest horsepower rating I believe I've ever pushed here, 165 horsepower, which honestly was just cruising horsepower numbers. And then this one was the same exact one, but this one actually made a little bit more torque than the other one. And this is the standard configuration actually. So now that we have that, this was my first ever dyno sheet that I got on my 2008 Mustang GT, made 315 to the wheels. This one was actually laminated. I don't know why he doesn't laminate them anymore. But next we have the modification. I believe we went from 315 to 338, 341 actually here. So we gained a couple horsepower there. Showed you guys the modifications. I think that was after camshafts, to be honest. And then this was after the procharger, supercharger. So essentially I recorded from 315 to 480, which that is an adding of about 165 horsepower. I believe my math is correct on that one. But yeah, that's super cool that I was able to record that full process with my 2008 Mustang GT, and I kind of want to do the same exact thing with the Z06. So this one was the same exact one, but a different configuration. And then this is going to be my 2014 GT500 when it made 833 to the wheels. Around, it's flirting with 1,000 to the crank. But we also have this. Then we also have the 1003 rear horsepower dyno sheet, which I'll show you guys right now. That was in a video. I actually did not get the hard copy, but live that in the moment. The full goal that we have here is basically record the full process. I want to see how much horsepower each modification does. We're going to go through different stages, probably 3 stages. The normal bolt-ons, the E85s, the smaller pulleys, the ported blowers will be the next stage here with increase of fuel, some type of different fuel combination. And then the stage 3 is going to be probably twin turbo. We're going to talk about that in the next videos to come, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But I do want to go into different stages. I do want to plan for this car, and I don't want to be all over the place. So stay tuned for that video. Without further ado, let's go ahead and see exactly how much horsepower this car makes before we actually get on the dyno. So GM advertises 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque, but I did some research online and it's more along the 550 rear horsepower, which is the horsepower I plan on making, or at least guessing. Comment down below what your guesses are, but I'm just on this Corvette forum here, reading what guys are getting on their dynos, and it's about the 550 rear horsepower on average. Again, we're going back to my man MCE Racing, $40 dynos, $80 dynos. We're going to the $80 one because it is the all-wheel drive dyno. However, his normal dyno is only $40. Hella good price when you look at dynos, because usually shops charge $100, $200, multiple $100 just to get onto this dyno. So this is the plug if you ever need to dyno your car. He's in SoCal. He's also mobile. He posts where he's going to be dynoing next. So that is what we have here. Let's head down to San Diego. Now this Z06 doesn't feel the fastest. I mean, it definitely does have a kick to it, but I think it could be a little bit faster. I'm not entirely sure. If I were to butt dyno this thing, I would say it's like 530 to 550 rear wheel horsepower. We're gonna figure out exactly how much it is, but it just doesn't feel fast for some reason. I don't know if the stock CPU tune is really bad, but who knows. I've also wanted to try manual with zero traction control to see how that works. I'm gonna see how my shifting does, but we're just gonna hope for the best. I think 6,500, I'll press the paddle shifter because there's a slight delay with the shifting. I don't know why, but let's just try it out. Wasn't too bad. I'm not entirely sure how fast that was. It definitely just does not feel fast for some reason. I have no idea. However, it's a good little punch. It's good for it to being stock. I don't know if you guys saw the speedometer, if you guys can calculate that speed of how fast it was, or if you guys think that there's something wrong with my car, let me know. But these first time reactions, I'm itching for more power. But yeah, that was a fun doing manual, doing stick shift. I really like the different auto. The shifter shifts pretty quick on this auto 8-speed. I don't know if a tune will make it a little bit better, but this thing so far is a blast to drive, but it's on the lower end horsepower for some reason. So that is a lot of fun. That's all I have to say. This car definitely puts a smile on my face every single time. I love driving this thing so much. So without further ado, let's head over to San Diego. I'm currently in Orange County. Let's go to Escondido, SD Garage, MCE Racing. That is where we're going to be doing the pulls here. I feel like I'm always filling up this thing. Miles per gallon's not too bad, but I've been just driving this all day long. And I'm gonna guess 580 to the wheels. We're gonna get the true number. It's a hot day and we're at sea level. So we'll see how she performs on 91 octane here. $5.40, probably gonna be close to $100 here. Let's get her done. $85 actually sounded corrected. It's a lot better than it was about a month ago when it was $100 per fill up. I'm slowly learning here that this car is breaking down more than I thought. My AC, well not the AC, but the fan blower just went out on me. It's on max speed, but absolutely no air coming out. Kind of sucks when it is really hot outside, but I did some research. Basically, you go underneath the blower, disconnect it, reconnect it. That should resolve the issue, but I had this go off on me. I had a service rear axle light come on for like 5 minutes and then turn off. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully I could get the AC or the air blower back up and running because it is a hot day. Just arrived here at SD Garage. Gonna cool her down for as best as I can. We're at about 200 degrees. See how much it can cool down for the time being. This is the guy I always went to for all my dyno pulls, literally every single one of them. Pretty good pricing just to see if you want to make any type of power or if you want to see how much horsepower you make after any modifications or stock like I'm doing. Very, very good pricing. So I'm here, we're gonna load up the car and get her going. We got track mode on, we got traction control off, advanced track and stability off, we have AC off, she's ready to rip it. And we got her all strapped down here. Supposedly this dyno is a lot better. Even with high horsepower cars, he said to take to this dyno because you could strap this down a lot more than his other dyno. So when we start increasing horsepower and get closer to the 1,000 horsepower range, we're gonna get back on this. But so far, she looks pretty good. All prepped and ready to go. Hopefully, oh boy, we got some talking to do. What happened, GM? 650 foot-pounds of torque, 650 horsepower. Not what I read here on the dyno sheets. We got the real numbers here. We're gonna discuss them because I am absolutely very shocked on the performance here that my Z06 did, but also kind of excited to see what the future holds because we got potential for huge gains. So here are the numbers with the SAE configuration, with a peak power of 660 foot-pounds of torque and peak horsepower at 502. The torque met up here with the expectations, about 550 to the wheels, but the horsepower, I don't know if it was the heat, I don't know if it was the automatic, I don't know if it was the dyno, but it read super low. So we're about 500 horsepower to the wheels and 660 foot-pounds of torque. So that is the final numbers. And if you guys are curious about the standard configuration, which is not corrected here, we're looking at 510 peak horsepower and 500 and about 70 foot-pounds of torque. And this is the graph to show exactly how it went. He says that he did not finish the second pole because the car was going 180 miles per hour, and he doesn't like running cars faster than 180 miles per hour on his dyno. That's why you see this cut off. But the peak horsepower is going to be at about 3,500 RPM, and then it just tanks off thereafter. So I don't know if I need a tune, I don't know if I need modifications, but this definitely has a lot of potential to grow from here. So we're going to be at about 500 horsepower, and I think we could get up to 700 very easily with just a couple modifications. So road to 200 horsepower plus, we're on it. Now this LT4, it wasn't bad, but it also didn't meet my expectations. So I'm super excited to see what we have in store. I do want to do E85, do want to do the long tube headers. I have a video coming up. In about 2 or 3 videos, I'm going to be releasing the plans for this Corvette, and that's where I'm going to need all of the Corvette gurus to come and check out that channel, because I need all the help that I can possibly get. I don't know too much, but I am having Uncle Boost help me out, which is a Corvette builder down here in Southern California, Temecula to be more exact. But for the most part, this LT4, it's fun to drive. It's very fun to be around and get behind the wheel up. But in the terms of performance, I think it could do a lot better, and we definitely need to increase that horsepower. Nonetheless though, even though this made 500 to the wheels, this car is super light and is still a blast to drive. It puts a smile on my face every single time, and I would not trade this for anything right now. I'm so in love with this car. It is so much fun. It is lightweight, it is aerodynamic. These brakes are absolutely, words are just lost of how amazing these carbon ceramic brakes are. It basically handles like a supercar. It handles so well, and that's one of the things that I'm starting to appreciate a little bit more. Going fast in a straight line for a couple seconds is definitely fun and has its kicks, but what's more fun is how the car can take corners. And I think that's one of the reasons about maturing in the car community, is realizing that going fast in a straight line, it's not as fun as going fast around corners. But this car, it could go fast around corners. Just like the Cobra and my Corvette, they're lightweight with a lot of horsepower. So definitely this thing, I'm curious to see how it will match up with like a Mustang, a 10-speed, or another Camaro, or a Hellcat, or a Dodge Charger. I definitely want to see how this compares to the rest of it, completely bone stock, and then go ahead and do our modifications and then run it back. So we'll see exactly how that goes with my stock Z06. I also want to check out my real-time slips with the quarter mile, so I definitely want to hit the track to see how this does. We have the 8th mile, which I wanted to see exactly how that performs. And then if I could get to a quarter mile as well as even a road course, I definitely want to try that out. So what do you think you'll do in the quarter? What do you think you'll do in the 8th? And should I take this to the track and try it out? The only thing is, I think these overheat. That's one of the issues I need to fix, is the overheating issue. So very soon I need to get upgraded radiator, upgraded fans. I don't know entirely sure, but E85 should also help out with the cooling, because it does cool the engine just a tad bit. Not a main factor, but it definitely does help. But there you have it, ladies and gents. That is how much horsepower my Corvette makes. Now we can start modding and see, basically record the full process to final completion. So we have a couple more videos before we actually start modding. I do have some cosmetics on the way here. I also need some new tires. That is coming on the way as well. But a couple more videos until we really get into this thing, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe down below if you have not already. That's basically all we have here for today. Again, comment down below, what do you think went wrong with the 500 rear horsepower? Very curious. I'm glad that the torque was there, and torque really makes things fun, but the horsepower, what went wrong with that? We're about 50 under where we're supposed to be. So that is where we're at, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys so much for your support. Deuces. you.